Caitlin, it's been a couple months since they announced this was going to be the day that you had your jersey retired. Can you just tell me about some of the emotions either leading up to today and what you're feeling maybe now, today, especially knowing that nobody's ever going to wear 22 again here at Iowa?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, I feel very lucky and fortunate.
Caitlin Clark just reached one of the biggest milestones of her career. Her legendary jersey number has been retired.
You hear the day and it's like, oh, your jersey's getting retired this day. It's like, oh, okay. But when the day approaches very fast, you don't have as much time to prepare for everything that's going to be involved in it. But, I just am fortunate to come back here. I honestly thought I would be back in Iowa City a lot more than I've been able to be over the, since I've left. This is only really my second time back here. The other time was when we got our rings on the field. So it's just fun for me to come back and just say thank you to everybody that poured so much into me and allowed me to be great, whether that's the social media people, whether that's the marketing team, whoever it is that made me look really good at times.
We've got the full breakdown, including her raw, unfiltered thoughts straight from the press conference. This isn't just another tribute video. We're diving deep into 3 major moments from this unforgettable night. First, we'll relive the game, a high-stakes battle that set the stage for the celebration.
We're breaking down the unforgettable jersey retirement ceremony where Iowa legends and thousands of fans gathered to celebrate one of the greatest players to ever wear black and gold. Plus, we'll share Caitlin Clark's raw and heartfelt reaction straight from her press conference. Stick around, you won't want to miss what she had to say. Ready? Let's dive in.
A lot of these big milestone emotional moments you were playing in a game, because you're not playing, because you've known what this is going to be like, do you feel like you'll be able to let yourself feel the emotions a little bit more?
Yeah, and I feel like I already have kind of today. You kind of just have those butterflies in your stomach when you walk in here, not so much for a basketball game now, but obviously just to be around everybody and to enjoy this environment. I think it's definitely, you are a little bit more vulnerable. I don't have to go and compete for 40 minutes, even though I wish maybe I could. But certainly, I think it will definitely be a little bit more emotional that I don't have to compete and go play for 40 minutes.
She joked that she wished she could suit up one last time, but this night was different. For once, there was no game to focus on, no 40-minute battle ahead. Before we get to Caitlin's emotional response, we have to talk about the game that set the stage, because what a game it was.
The Iowa Hawkeyes pulled off a massive 76-69 upset in front of a packed Carver Hawkeye Arena. But this wasn't just any win. This was a statement.
Go Iowa, trying to secure a win against USC. What a cut by Olsen. 2 and a foul.
From the moment the ball was tipped, Iowa came out with a fire that couldn't be ignored. The energy in the building was electric, and it showed. Iowa exploded right out of the gate, going on an 18-1 run. Yes, you heard that right, 18-1. USC couldn't buy a bucket, and the Hawkeyes were absolutely rolling.
They shoot 34% from 3 on the season. Look at Guyton with those fanciful handles.
That was a seated dribble after a steal. Ridiculous.
I love it. Any means necessary to save the possession.
All day long. Olsen for 2. It's a 17.
But if you thought this was going to be an easy win, think again, because USC wasn't going to back down. Enter Juju Watkins, one of the most dynamic young stars in women's basketball. She took control, leading the Trojans on a 17-1 run of their own, completely erasing Iowa's lead. It was a heavyweight fight, and neither side was giving an inch.
Well, when all is said and done for you, what do you want said about what you've done?
I hope I just inspired.
Oh, wow, Lucy Olsen.
Great move by her.
As the game wore on, it became clear. This was Iowa's night. And the hero?
Senior transfer Lucy Olsen took over when it mattered most, scoring 28 points, 18 of those in the second half. Addison O'Grady added 13, and Iowa's defense locked in during the final minutes to secure the win.
USC to just 1 for 7 from 3-point range in crunch time.
The current team in her heart still has business to take care of.
Absolutely.
O'Grady lost then.
But beyond the final score, this win meant something more. This wasn't just about rankings. This was about proving that Iowa basketball, Caitlin Clark's Iowa basketball, was still a force to be reckoned with. The sellout crowd of more than 15,000 fans was on its feet, cheering the team on like it was another Final Four run. And as the final buzzer sounded, there was only one thing left to do: celebrate the legend who made this all possible. Because up next, the moment everyone had been waiting for, Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement ceremony.
He's a 6-foot guard from West Des Moines, Iowa, the reigning WNBA Rookie of the Year and the greatest of all time, number 22, Caitlin Clark!
Caitlin Clark had played in front of sold-out crowds before. She had felt the roar of thousands, the electricity of every moment. But this was different. This time, there was no scoreboard, no last-second shot to hit. This was about something bigger. This was about saying goodbye to a legendary college career and cementing a legacy that will live on forever. As the final buzzer sounded, the lights dimmed, and the energy inside Carver Hawkeye Arena shifted. The cheers weren't about a play or a win, they were about respect, gratitude, and history. Caitlin stepped onto the court one last time, not as a player chasing records, but as an icon. The crowd erupted, standing in appreciation not just for her highlights, not just for championships, but for everything she had brought to this program, this school, and this sport. Iowa head coach Jan Jensen was the first to speak, taking fans back to when she and Lisa Bludder first saw Caitlin as a 9th grader.
For those of us that were blessed enough to be in the recruiting wars with Caitlin Clark, it didn't take but a second when you saw her for the first time to recognize her greatness. We had a step back three, we had a semi-shoulder shrug, and we had a little grin looking over at the bench, and she was, I think, a rising 9th grader. And so, Lisa, Jenny, myself, our staff, we made a pact that we were going to do everything we could to be the last one standing. And we are so thankful that we were the last one standing.
We are so thankful we were the last ones standing, Jensen said with a smile. It didn't take long. One step back three, a little shoulder shrug, a grin back at the bench. She had it, and we knew we had to do whatever it took to bring her to Iowa.
The thing that was the coolest about coaching this young woman is she is the same today as when she came in. She is full of confidence. She's full of grace, and she has an unbelievable power to make everybody around her better. And the thing I'd like to close with, if you didn't know, to celebrate this wonderful moment, she gave $22,000 to 4 different entities in this town to share her success and to say thank you. Caitlin, we want to thank you. And Lisa and I had the ride of a lifetime, and you had the head coach of a lifetime.
Next, former head coach Lisa Bludder spoke about Caitlin's impact not just on the game, but on the entire sport. She changed the way people saw women's basketball. She made people believe.
Paused for a second, and you looked up there, and you looked at those jerseys. I went over to you, put my arm around your shoulder, and said, Caitlin, someday your name's going to be up there. Your jersey's going to be up there. Today is that day, Caitlin. The positive image that you've brought to this basketball program, this university, this state, women's basketball nationally.
I've spent my career trying to empower young women, Bludder said, pausing as the crowd fell silent. But in 4 years, Caitlin, you've done more for women's basketball than anyone could have imagined.
Why it's wise to invest in women's sport. Why it's wise to invest in women. It's not only the right thing to do, but it's the smart thing to do. Caitlin, you may be in Indiana now, but you're always a Hawkeye.
Then, the moment arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, the announcer called out, there will never be another Caitlin Clark, and there will never be another number 22.
Big Ten Player of the Year! 3-time Nancy Lieberman Award recipient! 2-time Wade Trophy winner! 2-time USPWA National Player of the Year! Two-time Wooden Award recipient. Two-time Honda Sports Award winner. Two-time Naismith Player of the Year. Two-time AP Player of the Year. The James E. Sullivan Award winner. Three-time Big Ten Tournament champion. Owner of 5 NCAA single season records and 6 NCAA career records. Back-to-back Final Four appearances. The NCAA's all-time leading scorer. Ladies and gentlemen, there will never be another Caitlin Clark, and there will never be another number 22.
As the jersey slowly rose to the rafters, Caitlin looked up, hands on her hips, taking it all in. The announcer listed her staggering achievements, but at that moment, living it was something entirely different. Her name, her number forever. Then came the tribute video, a wave of emotion stretching far beyond Iowa City.
I'm really glad to say that Caitlin Clark has not only impacted throughout the USA, but has also impacted in Brazil.
I am a fan all the way from South Africa. I've never watched basketball before, but because of you, I am a fan, and I am eternally grateful.
You have motivated me to work harder and dream bigger, not just for myself, but to make my sport even more popular. And
fans from around the world, from Brazil to South Africa, shared their stories. A young girl battling cancer who found strength watching Caitlin play. A father who never followed women's basketball before but became a die-hard fan because of Caitlin's magic. A family who brought a signed photo of their late child to a game, knowing they would have wanted to witness history.
March of 2022, Caitlin took this picture with our youngest son, Cade. Sadly, in November of 2023, Cade passed away at the Children's Hospital. Later that season, when Caitlin broke the scoring record, his older brother Chase decided to take this photo with him to the game and was lucky enough to get it signed. Thank you, Caitlin, for that incredible night, not only the scoring record, but also letting us know that Cade was with us at that game, and for our favorite piece of sports memorabilia.
Thank you, Caitlin. Let's go home.
One by one, their messages flashed across the screen. Caitlin watched, blinking, taking a deep breath. This wasn't just about basketball. This was something bigger.
Talked about in your time at Iowa, just you didn't really get time to reflect on what was going on because, of preparing for opponents and things like that. Now that you've had time off, just what's it been like to process what happened here at Iowa and then be back here today?
Well, it's been fun looking back on this whole past year and everything that's been able to happen. But just the journey we went on, I think reflecting back on my entire career, whether the beginning when I didn't play in front of anybody to the very end where we went to our second Final Four, second national championship game, and just how much things changed, not only for our program, but how much things changed for women's basketball in my time here.
Known for her fire, her deep threes, and her ability to take over a game, Caitlin sat before reporters that night with a different energy. It wasn't about records or wins anymore, it was about reflection. For the first time in a long time, she had a chance to look back on everything she had accomplished, and the emotions were clear the moment she sat down.
Very grateful and fortunate, and it's kind of a weird feeling coming back here and not being able to play, but it's just really exciting time still for this program. I'm very fortunate to be a part of it, and feel very lucky that a lot of my former teammates and former coaches are here and able to support me, and a lot of friends and family, so I'm just really lucky.
Wow, that was a lot, she said with a small laugh, shaking her head. I'm just really grateful to be here. She took a deep breath, then got serious. With the Final Four, the WNBA draft, and her first pro season happening so fast, she admitted she never had time to process it all. I've been so locked in on what's next that I haven't had time to step back and think about what we did here, she said. But tonight, seeing my teammates, my coaches, my family, it hit me.
Take on this year's team. How do you see this team?
Oh, asking me the tough questions. No, I think they're definitely a younger group. I think the freshman class to me is what's really exciting. I think they've been ones you can tell they're freshmen. They're going to be inexperienced at times, but you learn.
Caitlin made one thing clear: this moment wasn't just about her. I know my number is up there, but it wouldn't be without my teammates, she said. We built something really special here, the culture, the way we played for each other. That's what I'll remember most. She gave credit to her former teammates, many of whom were there to celebrate with her. Winning was great, she said with a smile, but the best part? Doing it with my best friends.
A lot of really good players to wear this number in this program, whether Sam Logic, Kathleen Doyle, and those two specifically have been very supportive of myself over my career, so just thanks to them more than anything.
She also made sure to praise Iowa's coaching staff for keeping the program strong and expressed her excitement about the next generation of players coming in.
Just proud of this coaching staff. I don't think people always at times give them the grace that they deserve. You know, losing 5 seniors or 6 seniors, whatever the number was, losing our head coach and then losing Coach Fitz, which a lot of people don't talk about too often. And Coach Fitz was the person that, you know, she did the scouts. She watched games, 8 games, or she was working ahead on things. She was Coach Bluter's kind of right-hand person, and, you know, she never got a lot of the credit. So, you know, that's a big loss too. But just proud of this coaching staff. Like, they've stayed resilient in the moments that have been kind of tough for them so far. But, you know, this program's in a really good spot. You have a great young group, and you have, you know, a couple juniors that are going to be back next year that are really good, and then obviously the class that we have coming in too is really good as well. So the program is in a really good spot.
A reporter asked how she handles the pressure and attention of the past 18 months.
Faced more scrutiny in the last 18 months than you.
Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself going through, whether it's adversity on the floor, off the floor, and in the last 18 months, and how have you applied that to make you a better person?
Despite being just 23 years old, Caitlin's response showed her maturity and perspective.
It's, you know, it's just life. Everybody goes through some of the same stuff that I've gone through, and a lot of people go through a lot worse. And I just try to remind myself every single day, like, how grateful I am to be in the position that I am. And, you know, I try to treat everybody the same way that, you know, that I would want to be treated. And I think it just speaks to the way I was raised and my parents raised me. You know, there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. The girls are fired up. I hope that's them. But yeah, I think it's just, you know, you go with the flow a little bit. You know, obviously, I think having a good circle around me and having a small circle around me of people that I really trust, and those are the people that you can always count on and lean on, is what's been so important for me over the past year.
She didn't hesitate to shut down any rumors, making it clear where she and her team stand. Talk about silencing the doubters.
So, like, I've said this before, like, I feel like one of my greatest skills is, like, I really don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I believe in myself, I'm confident in myself, I'm confident in my teammates. I try to instill that in them. I'm confident in the coaching staff on whatever team I was on, whether that was here, whether that's at the Fever now. And you just rely on those people, and, you know, nobody gets to step inside of your locker room, whether it was here at Iowa or whether it was, you know, with the Fever now. Like, everybody thinks they know everything and have an answer, but that's just not reality, and that goes for all of professional sports, and really that goes for all of you as well and people.
One of the most emotional moments came when Caitlin addressed Iowa directly, both the university and its fans. She paused, exhaled, then smiled.
All the people that have just poured into me over the course of my career, from the people that don't get any recognition, from our media team to our managers, all of you that have given so much of yourselves to allow me to be who I am. Thank you. I can't say it enough, and I wouldn't be here without all of you. So I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to be back in here and play another game in front of you all. So thank you for being here.
You packed this arena every single night. You traveled to see us. You supported us when we won, when we lost. You made this place special, she said. And you didn't just support me, you supported women's basketball. I hope you know how much that means to me. Because this was always bigger than me.
Just like making sure I say thank you to all of them, because none of that happens without all of those people pouring themselves into our team and our program every single day.
Of course, the big question came next: what's ahead? How does Caitlin feel about the WNBA and her second year with the Indiana Fever? She grinned. The competitor in her was ready.